Private text messages and other documents that we've obtained reveal what really happened.
So right there, Chris, that's not an opinion. As the source explained, Blake is unsure about the future of her career because of the backlash she has received. She does not want to have a family with no income, and she knows that Ryan's career has so far survived the fall.
Well, no one could have predicted this. Blake Lively, once seen as Hollywood's shining star, the symbol of effortless beauty, red carpet royalty, and pure glamour, now appears to be heading toward a serious career setback. And the cause behind it all? Let's just say it's anything but pleasant. Industry insiders are whispering more loudly than ever, suggesting that her once perfect reputation is beginning to show cracks. The pressure is intense, and the consequences could be huge.
I don't know how much is going to come through in the transcript that can be read now, but audibly, because we were able to call in to that hearing and listen to it, there did seem to be a lot of stress and a lot of tension, particularly when it came to those points.
And the picture being shared behind closed doors isn't kind. It seems that Hollywood is losing its patience. Her name is slowly vanishing from top casting lists, and when that happens, it usually means something serious is going on. These kinds of shifts don't happen by chance.
Private text messages and other documents that we've obtained reveal what really happened.
So right there, Chris, that's not an opinion.
Something major has clearly happened, and it looks like Justin Baldoni may be stepping right into the space she once dominated. For years, Blake was nearly untouchable. The Gossip Girl favorite turned A-list powerhouse had the industry wrapped around her finger, leading roles, luxury brand deals, and of course, her headline-making marriage to Ryan Reynolds. Together, they were the definition of a Hollywood power couple.
For you, Lively vs. Baldoni, how right-wing influencers are weaponizing the fight to take down #MeToo.
But if the latest industry talk is true, the doors are now slamming shut. What caused this sudden change? There are several theories making the rounds. Some believe she crossed the wrong people. Others claim she refused to follow Hollywood's unspoken rules. Whatever the truth may be, one thing is obvious. Opportunities are disappearing fast.
Explained, Blake is unsure about the future of her career because of the backlash she has received. She does not want to have a family with no income, and she knows that Ryan's career has so far survived the fall.
Meanwhile, Justin Baldoni's star continues to rise. Known for choosing emotional, meaningful projects, he has managed something few actors can. He stayed in Hollywood's good books while carefully building his career. Smart role choices, thoughtful public relations, and avoiding scandal have all worked in his favor. His approach is clearly paying off.
That's not a maybe. That's not a what really happened. Now, is that going to be problematic for them?
In a big way. Which raises the bigger question. Was this shift carefully planned? Did Hollywood quietly begin searching for Blake's replacement? And if so, why choose Baldoni? The answer seems simple. He fits exactly what the industry wants right now. A clean public image, strong social awareness, and the right industry connections. On top of that, he's also producing and directing, giving him real influence behind the scenes. And that's where things become even more interesting.
Almost like nervously so from her team of how much that clearly was the most important.
Some insiders believe this story is about more than Blake Lively losing her spotlight. They say it reflects a larger transformation in Hollywood itself. Studios are pushing for fresh talent and new ideas, slowly pushing aside anyone who no longer fits the current image. Could Blake simply be another victim of Hollywood's constant cycle of reinvention? Then there's the complete silence from her team. No statements, no vague messages, no effort to calm the rumors. Usually, when a star's career hits rough waters, there's some attempt to control the story. I really love this story because, again, it connects to the bigger cultural shift shaped by the Me Too movement.
I really love this story because, again, it speaks to this larger cultural thing of the Me Too movement.
Right now, Justin is playing the game like a seasoned professional. But does that automatically mean Blake's career is over? Not everyone thinks so. Some insiders believe she could still make a strong return. That might come through a daring image change, a powerful role in an award-worthy indie film, or even a major producing project. Hollywood is famous for pushing stars aside, only to welcome them back when trends change. Still, the big question remains. Is this really the end of Blake Lively's era in Tinseltown?
That's how I felt. It just, given what we're looking at and what's happening and the backlash and everything else, I can't imagine Blake's celebrity friends are happy that it's...
So, how did everything fall apart so quickly? Was it a series of poor career decisions, broken relationships behind the scenes, Or simply the brutal reality of an industry that is always chasing the next rising star? No matter the reason, one thing stands out. Justin Baldoni is stepping into the spotlight at the exact moment Blake Lively appears to be fading from it. If the circulating rumors are accurate, this could become one of the most dramatic shifts of power Hollywood has witnessed in years. Despite Blake and her team's attempts to defend their position, it was Friedman who immediately seized control in the opening round, reminding the court that Blake's nonstop media campaign had already painted Justin in a deeply damaging light.
There were moments where the judge was calling both of them out. He was attempting to keep things being neutral, but there were definitely moments where Brian's arguments felt stronger than...
From the very start, Justin was forced into defense mode. This became his chance to fight back, and Friedman held nothing back. Justin had every legal right to respond publicly, whether through press interviews, social media statements, or even launching a dedicated website to present what Friedman described as undeniable proof. As his bold strategy unfolded, the atmosphere inside the courtroom shifted sharply, clearly unsettling Blake's legal team.
I have dragons, just like Khaleesi. I have Ryan Reynolds and Taylor.
His relentless and fearless defense sent a powerful message. He had no intention of backing down. In response, one of Blake's attorneys attempted to restrict Friedman's public appearances, filing a motion for a court order to stop him from speaking to the press, posting online, or addressing the public in any way. They argued that his frequent statements were unfairly influencing public opinion and leaving Blake's side at a serious disadvantage in presenting their case.
The judge heard the arguments. I felt Friedman made the better.
The heated exchanges had turned the legal battle into a full-blown media spectacle, but the judge refused to play along. He ruled that since both sides had already spoken publicly, it would be unjust to silence one party while allowing the other to continue. That decision proved to be a game changer, completely shifting the tone of the courtroom. Justin's supporters, along with Friedman, celebrated what they viewed as a major legal victory.
Very different reality.
It seemed like she was very nervous about medical records being revealed, and it seemed very evident that her lawyers were instructed to ensure that her celebrity relationships, third party, all that stuff was off the...
Meanwhile, Blake's legal team was left scrambling. Their attempt to muzzle Friedman had failed, and their plan to shape the public story had collapsed in dramatic fashion. The situation grew even more intense when they discovered that Justin had launched a new website presenting evidence connected to the case. Although the full details were not revealed right away, Friedman made it clear the site would soon include videos, legal records, and crucial messages aimed at exposing what he claimed was the real motive behind Blake's lawsuit. According to him, it was never about justice, but rather a calculated attempt to destroy Justin's reputation.
Chris, that's not an opinion. That's not a maybe. That's not a what really happened. Now, is that going to be problematic for them moving forward?
Blake's attorneys fired back instantly, condemning the website as a blatant effort to influence potential jurors and the public before the trial had even begun. They argued that releasing such material ahead of court proceedings was completely inappropriate. Friedman, however, remained unfazed. He flipped their argument, stating that since Blake had already made her accusations public, Justin had every right to defend himself just as openly. Once again, the judge sided with Friedman, confirming that Justin was fully within his rights to respond publicly.
Stakes couldn't be higher.
That's how I felt. It just, given what we're looking at and what's happening and the backlash and everything else, I can't imagine Blake's celebrity friends are happy that...
Especially after Blake's team had ignited the media storm themselves. But the conflict was far from settled. As pressure mounted, desperation began to show. Blake's attorneys made a final push ahead of an upcoming deposition, a critical moment where every sworn word could determine the outcome of the case. In a bid to regain control, they asked the judge to let them choose who would question Blake, clearly hoping to avoid Friedman's intense cross-examination style. The judge saw through the tactic and rejected the request, ruling that Blake had no authority to select her interrogator.
Aggressor, not the victim.
I think there were moments where the judge was calling both of them out. He was attempting to keep things being neutral, but there were definitely moments where Brian's arguments felt stronger than the other.
Under the law, it was Justin's legal team that held the right to ask the hard, detailed questions. This ruling delivered yet another major win for Friedman, granting him full authority to question Blake directly without any special limits. The pressure on Blake couldn't have been more intense. Depositions are raw, unscripted, and given under oath. Even a small mistake could lead to serious consequences once the case reached the courtroom. With the judge's decision boosting Friedman's influence, Blake's attorneys were clearly shaken. Their anxiety was impossible to ignore.
Against Baldoni.
We don't think we should have to present some of our text messages in discovery with our high-profile clients, that being Taylor Swift and whoever else. Some people say Bradley Cooper and whatever other friends of Blake Lively might.
After all, if Blake truly trusted her case, why work so desperately to avoid difficult questioning? It almost suggested that Friedman might uncover something capable of tearing apart her entire story. Just as the hearing seemed to be wrapping up, the judge delivered another shocking decision. He ruled that both lawsuits would be combined into one. Blake's original filing and Justin's countersuit would no longer move forward separately. They were now locked into a single, full-scale legal battle. While merging cases often speeds things up, in this situation, it only heightened the drama, transforming the proceedings into a high-stakes courtroom showdown.
Regardless of the facts.
The public is entitled to see different court papers. Everything's supposed to be public, right? Freedom of Information Act are supposed to be public. But in certain cases like this.
Now, every accusation from both sides would be examined closely, with the judge and jury weighing each claim side by side in real time. Already under pressure from Justin's growing legal momentum, Blake now found herself boxed into an even tighter corner. With the cases merged, there was no simple way out. Every charge and countercharge would be dissected together in one intense legal confrontation, leaving little room for retreat or inconsistency. Even her most loyal supporters, many of whom had long admired her elegance and career success, began to feel torn. Some still stood firmly behind her, believing she wouldn't risk her reputation without strong reason and insisting she had every right to raise serious concerns. But the mood was shifting. More observers started questioning her legal approach, wondering whether Blake's carefully built public image could survive the relentless glare of the courtroom.
And, clearly Justice's side didn't care about the medical stuff or the security stuff. They agreed even in that call. That's not what this is about. What this became about was more of this sort of mid-ground issue.
Public sentiment was slowly turning in Justin's favor, especially as Friedman carefully revealed evidence that seemed to weaken Blake's arguments piece by piece. At the same time, Justin's expanding fan base, along with spectators captivated by the legal drama, stayed glued to the steady flow of updates posted on his new website. Throughout the turmoil, Ryan Reynolds remained noticeably silent, refusing to comment on the unfolding legal conflict. His silence only deepened the speculation. Where does his loyalty truly stand? Will he push for a settlement to avoid even greater damage to Blake? Or is he simply waiting as the storm continues to play out?